Hello friends and welcome to another quick MarioMayhem.com video. Today we are getting out the Ocarina and hitting the old fishing hole because it's the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So sit back, relax and
hey, listen!
As we explore facts, trivia and Easter eggs from the game that has sold over 9 million copies and received constant 10 out of 10 reviews. Number 14. There is a theory going around that the forest and water temples in Ocarina of Time were originally planned as the wind and ice temples. There are a few pieces of evidence to support this theory, such as the water medallion from the water temple looking like a snowflake, and the forest medallion resembles a moving fan suggesting wind. The interior of Ganon's castle also supports this theory as it is based on the different temples. Inside this tower, however, the forest temple portion features a wind puzzle around fans, and the water temple section is based around ice. The battle against the Sorceress Sisters also backs up this theory, as the fire attack symbol matches the fire medallion's design, and Komei's ice attack symbol matches the design on the water medallion. So were these temples originally going to be wind and ice related? No one knows for sure, but it is a neat theory. Number 13. Since there are a ton of these facts, I thought I'd knock off a bunch of little Easter eggs and trivia here at number 13. So tighten your tunic and let's go! First up, if you take out your Deku stick near a group of butterflies and gently lead one away from the group, that butterfly will turn into a fairy. As this footage shows, this neat little trick also carried over to the 3D remake of the game. No doubt if you spend enough time in Hyrule Marketplace, you will have seen the character Sakon running around. When you chat to him, he will say, "Huff huff, I'm late for a very important date," which is a quote from the White Rabbit in the novel Alice in Wonderland. You might remember the rabbit Mips from Super Mario 64 making reference to this quote too. Next time you're in the Hyrule Castle courtyard chatting with Zelda, take a look to the window to the left as you enter. It's empty apart from a plant, but if you fire your slingshot at this seemingly mundane piece of flora, a guard will throw a bomb at you and warn you not to cause trouble. And the final point at number 13 here, we're visiting the German version of Ocarina of Time. If you chat to Princess Zelda whilst you have the Keaton mask on, she will actually make a Pokemon reference. Roughly translated, Zelda says, "What are you? Oh, you're one of those golden little pocket monsters, right?" This is obviously a reference to the similarities between Pikachu and the mask itself. Number 12. Next time you are inside the lakeside laboratory next to Lake Hylia, jump in the pool and sink to the bottom. Hiding in there is this odd motionless shark behind some bars. It doesn't actually do anything, but it has had us wondering since the game's release, and it's also present in the 3D remake. Number 11. Ocarina of Time suffered through a little bit of controversy that resulted in some changes being made to the game. For example, the music in the Fire Temple once contained some stock sound effects of chanting. Despite being used in other games, this chanting sound was deemed to sound too close to Islamic prayer, and as a result, Nintendo decided to change it. The chanting sounds were replaced with the moans and wails from the Shadow Temple's music instead. Those of you that played the original game will also be familiar with this crescent moon and star symbol that appears on blocks, switches, and even the mirror shield. This symbol also caused controversy, however, as the moon and stars also resembles Islamic symbols. Because of this, the re-releases of the game have changed the symbol to something that hopefully no one can complain about. Number 10. A good old-fashioned time paradox is present in the Ocarina of Time. When you learn the Song of Storms from Guru Guru, he tells you that he learned it from some Ocarina kids 7 years ago, implying it was Link as a child, yet he only just learnt the song as an adult. So who composed the Song of Storms? It's a mystery. Number 9. A little bit of a cheeky one here at number 9. Next time you are in the Spirit Temple in the room with the giant statue, try aiming the hookshot at the, bust area. Unlike the surrounding walls, your hookshot will be able to grapple on the highlighted areas. It's speculated that this was a joke added by Nintendo, but it could have just been a one-off level designer perv too. Number 8. If you still own the Nintendo 64 release of Ocarina of Time, then the debugging tool is still present in the disc's data. In fact, if the game crashes, you can quickly enter the correct button sequence, and you can still see the debug data that includes info on why the game crashed and the situation of the environment when it did crash. This is all a bit nerdy but pretty cool really, and Nintendo manages to soften the geek blow on this version info screen of this debugging tool too. Hiding amongst the stats and numbers is this heartwarming message that reads, "I love you." Supposedly it's there in appreciation of bug reporters. Number 7. Next time you're fighting Phantom Ganon, or if Ganondorf's magic blasts are too much, equip a bottle and send his magic back at him. Similar to the bug catching net reflecting Aghanim's magic in A Link to the Past, your bottle will reflect the oncoming spell and end up damaging Ganon. You can also end up having a quick game of tennis with him if he is in the mood too. 15 love. Number 6. If you enjoy glitching games, then you should definitely look into the wrong warp glitch. Taking advantage of this bug, one can teleport from the Deku Tree basement right to Ganon's tower by tricking the game into loading a different cutscene. Using this glitch, people have been able to complete the game in crazy fast times. Number 5. Interestingly, Lynx Horse Epona was actually discussed as an idea during the development of Super Mario 64. Some ideas were floating around to include a horse for Mario to ride around in the game. Obviously this didn't occur in the Mario Classic, but this did leave the devs of Ocarina of Time knowing from the start that they would include a horse, and as such Epona was somewhat planned from the beginning. Epona's name has a bit of intrigue behind it too. When translated from the ancient Celtic language Gaulish, it means great mare. Epona in the Gallo-Roman religion is also the protector of horses, donkeys and mules, so it's not too hard to speculate where the name for Lynx Horse came from. One last bit of trivia about Lynx Horse. In a number of pre-release trailers for later beta builds of Ocarina of Time, Link can be seen riding Epona into Hyrule Castle Town. Why this functionality was removed, no one knows. Number 4. Now seems like as good a time as any to take a look at some of the Super Mario crossovers that appear in the Ocarina of Time. For a start, the characters Talon and Ingo are loosely based on both Mario and Luigi, which isn't too much of a surprise given their designs. There are a number of other crossovers too, however, ranging from minor such as the plaque that appears in the Dodongo's cavern is the same as the fountain in Super Mario 64, to the more pronounced sneakier ones like Malon wearing a brooch that looks an awful lot like Bowser's head. The warp whistle sound from Super Mario Bros. 3 also makes a reappearance in the title screen of the game. Most of you will already know about the Mario pictures you can see when you're in the castle courtyard too. However, in the 3D version of the game, these pictures are replaced with a Mario level background, complete with warp pipes and blocks. As mentioned in our Mario Galaxy video too, the idea behind scaling the boss Megaleg was originally intended for Ocarina of Time. The original plan was to have Link scaling a massive Ganon as the boss, however it was scrapped because the Nintendo 64 struggled to render the colossal body at a steady frame rate, and players could apparently easily get confused as Ganon's entire body would never be visible. Number 3. A little bit of a dark one here at number 3. After you've collected all 3 spiritual stones and received the Ocarina of Time from Zelda, if you head to the back alley of Hyrule Castle Town, you will find a huddled up soldier. If you chat to him, he will go into a story of Ganondorf betraying the king and how he himself was injured fighting Ganondorf's men so Zelda and Impa could get away. The soldier manages to tell you to head to the Temple of Time but then dies shortly after. If you try to talk to him again, the message "he's not moving anymore" appears on the screen. Number 2. When development started on Ocarina of Time, Nintendo was still unsure how large a game could be and still function given the memory restrictions of the Nintendo 64. The team considered a similar layout to Mario 64 where Ganon's castle would be the hub and you would take off on adventures from there. Obviously this was changed, but Ganon's doppelganger in the Forest Temple is still a tribute to this early development, with the villain jumping in and out of paintings. The game was almost made completely in the first-person perspective too. This would have been an interesting change to the game, but Miyamoto wanted everyone to see the change from young Link to adult Link. He also laughed and added in an interview that players should see Link because he is so cool looking. So are you, Shigeru. So are you. Number 1. And finally here at number 1 we have this awesome hidden Arwing from Starfox. During development and testing of the Ocarina of Time, developers added in this Arwing in order to test the Z targeting and the enemy AI. Obviously you can't access it during normal gameplay, however with the use of the Game Shark or an action replay add-on, this Arwing can still be unlocked and attacked and defeated. Anyway, that's it for today, friends. I hope you enjoyed these 14 or so Ocarina of Time facts and trivia bits. Don't forget to like and share this video around, and we will see you soon. Previously on Mario Mayhem. If you could add a new world to Super Mario Bros. 3, what would it be like? So many amazing Super Mario Bros. 3 world ideas. You make it so hard every video to pick the best comments, guys. Here are a few honourable mentions for everyone to enjoy though. And the clap today goes to Andy and Shelley in your face for being the first to suggest the reverse of World 4 where Mario is the big guy. I hear these guys once used so many warp whistles in Mario 3 that they physically transported to the Mushroom Kingdom and rescued the princess themselves. So that's pretty good too. And today we'll leave you, if you could add a new item to Ocarina of Time, what would it be? Let us know in the comments below, and the best, most creative answer will be featured in one of our next videos. And that's it for today, friends. We'll see you soon.